Okay, thank you. All right, y'all. Just checked out of my hotel here in North Carolina. So, what's crazy is that this would have been my last. Get some light for y'all. Okay, this would have been my last day, last show in North Carolina before the tour ends. We are at the home stretch, ladies and gentlemen, and all my amazing artists and supporters that have been on this journey, my family, my friends, all of y'all. Shout out to all of y'all. Anybody I've ever even just talked to, thank you for watching and support. However, today's show got canceled. So we're on our way to South Carolina, and along the way, I'm gonna, I know the last vlog was probably a little like, wait a minute, girl, what'd you do? What happened? What's going on? I'm gonna let you know right now. From the last vlog that you saw, I haven't vlogged in about a good week. Not even week, 4 days. Healing from trauma, dead ass, and performing still in the midst of that healing process. I'm gonna let y'all know what's going on, where we stand, what's popping. You feel me? I'm gonna let you know. You already know I will. Honesty and transparency, baby. So stay tuned. So I made it to South Carolina and just checked into our hotel. Haven't ate all day. It's in the middle of the day, so I'm actually gonna go grab me something to eat. But I wanted to check in with y'all before I go ahead and do that. Like I said before, you know, it's been a couple days since I vlogged with you to give you like the play-by-play of everything. And honestly, that was really because I was healing from the experience that I had with having to go through what I talked about in last week's vlog. For the purposes of, let's see, how do I want to state this? Let me take my glasses off for y'all. Due to my contractual obligations, I'm going to be very vague, if you will, but also because of the multiple parties that are also involved within this matter, or that were involved within this matter that I had. It's been resolved, and it's been resolved in the best way that it could have been, should have been. And I am appreciative, and I am grateful, and I am blessed for that, because so often in circumstances such as this one, where artists or people, human beings, have to stick up for themselves and have to protect themselves in business relationships, sometimes it really doesn't work out in your favor, or you end up sacrificing. And the timing of this is actually really interesting due to the resurfacing of the Monique incident that has happened. Ultimately, it was traumatic for me because of the response in which I was receiving from those that are supposed to have your back, or those people who have vision are ahead of their time, and people who are aware of an entire situation or the bigger picture of things, and that are selfless individuals like myself. The matter wasn't, my decision making didn't just have to do with myself. It had to do with, again, the seeds that I sow into this earth in which I was blessed to be a part of, and within this industry, people that are going to come after me. And the biggest thing for all of you that is listening, in whatever field, whatever industry that you're in, if it compromises your integrity, if it compromises your moral compass, if it compromises who you are, that's never okay, ever. And I don't care how much money is involved. I don't care whatever, you know, compensation that's involved, exposure, all that stuff is temporary. Money is temporary, you know what I mean? And money brings out the worst in people, but it could also bring out the best in people. And so, like I said, the matter has since been resolved. I am healing, and I'll forever probably be healing from it. But again, you know, for the purposes of professionalism, for the purposes of confidentiality, contractual obligations, I won't talk much about the healing process or the trauma in which I suffered. However, I'm grateful for this opportunity to be on this tour. This is my first time on a theater tour, and performing the subject matter of the civil rights movement that I perform every single day, that I am blessed to perform and work and get paid for something that I love, it was impossible for me not to voice a concern. And that was that, you know, voicing a concern. It's one thing to do something, but it's another thing to voice. And I voiced a concern and was traumatized. But again, protect yourselves, read everything, and go in with an honest and a positive intention. For this business, how I start is how I would like to finish. And I am still fresh in my career, you know, and so I'm starting with integrity. I'm starting with professionalism. I'm starting with with gratitude, you know, and that's how I want to finish. And so it's how I was raised. It's how I was educated. And I'm not going to let those things go in vain, you know? And like I said, this is a vlog of transparency. This is a vlog of honesty. I got people that's watching. I got people in my emails. I got people in my DMs. No. If there's one thing that you know about Asia E. Marche, is that I'm a hard worker. I'm aware of my talent. I'm aware of my gift from God that He gave me. And I'm aware that you can't make decisions solely based off of self. You just can't. And I'm aware that particularly in this industry, the decisions and the choices that you make can be generalized and determined. Well, the choices and the decisions that you make can be generalized. And as a woman, as a person of color, I'm mindful of the things that I accept, the things that I will do, and I'm mindful of the things that I won't do and the things that I won't accept. Because there's some people that exist in the world that think if they encounter Asia, or they have an experience or an interaction with Asia, she may be the first, or she may be the point of reference for women of color that are artists. And I'm not just looking out for myself, I'm looking out for all of us, because there are so many people that I look up to. There are so many artists that are mentors of mine, colleagues of mine, that do the same. Decisions that they make, they're considering the ones that come after them, like myself. And I take my craft and my career very seriously. And so for those that were aware of the situation in real time, thank you so much for being there for me, for listening to me, for supporting me, pouring into me, and, you know, validating that insecurity of you're not crazy, you know. Thank you, and I love you for that, and y'all know who y'all are. So with that being said, I'm hungry, so I'm gonna get something to eat. And I have a show tomorrow. I have 3 shows tomorrow, actually. So I will probably go grab my food. I will eat my food. I'm gonna relax for a little bit and run my lines, because it's a never-ending situation for me. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being on this journey, you guys. This week is the final one, because you guys won't see this until it's over. So, oh my God! But anyway, bittersweet. Oh my God, it's the final week. No, it's the final week. But closer to the end of the week, I'll let y'all know. Why it's bittersweet? You feel me? I'll let y'all know. But anyway, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you for tuning in. Now, tell me why, like, I tried to go and grab me something to eat, right? So listen here. You know when you have a craving for something, you're like, damn, yes, okay, this is what I'm about to get. It's about to be popping. It's about to be good. But then when you get there, they don't have what you want. So it's like, you know what? I don't even want to sacrifice it. Like, I don't even want to, like, just get something else and find, like, an alternative, you know? And that's exactly what happened. So, like, I'm, like, still here in the parking lot. You see the DQ sign? So I recently had Dairy Queen's, like, fan food. and it was like really good. I was like very shocked and surprised at how great it tasted, and it was just awesome. So when I saw one, and I rarely am around Dairy Queens that sell food, I'm like, oh, I'm about to get me some Dairy Queen, like some fan food. No, I'm not. So that's a dub. So now I have to figure out what I'm about to eat now. And then on top of that, my hotel is right next to a Waffle House, and I've also never had Waffle House before, like ever in life. And it's now unfortunate because like I can never have Waffle House, given the fact that what Waffle House now stands for and what they did as far as the disrespectful demeanor in which they showed, you know, an African-American woman that was in there. And, you know, I'm not going to go into too much detail about it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just Google Waffle House controversy and you'll see exactly why I have chosen to be part of the boycott of Waffle House. And it's unfortunate because, like, I really want to try Waffle House, but I can't because the way my morals are set up. So, yeah. But, clearly I shouldn't be eating fast food because I got all these families, like, on my face. I know y'all see it. Like, it's honest, like. And so, yeah. I've also haven't been utilizing my skincare regimen during this tour, for different reasons. The first reason was, money. I could not afford to make sure that, I had to buy it, you know. And then the second reason was I wasn't going to let, like, my face and what it naturally does piss me off during this tour and worry about looking, like, super flawless and beautiful because, I mean, I'm beautiful regardless. However, my characters are part of the civil rights movement. They didn't care how they looked. And if anything, they probably was stressed as hell and their face was probably broken out because they getting beaten and they getting disrespected and you know, some of them chose not to do anything or be violent. And so just taking that type of behavior towards them, you know what I mean? And so they probably wasn't, you know, beat down. So, beat down in the face, you feel me? So I've chosen, you know, that route, and I don't know if that's like something to make me feel better about my skin, or like, is that like, you know, a thing that I'm just rationalizing? But, yeah, you know what I mean? But I haven't seen my face like this crazy in like a very long time. And actually, to be really honest, it's actually not even that bad as to what it can be. Like, I've seen my skin like, so it's crazy. But now I'm about to figure out what to eat. What are some of y'all favorite places that y'all like to eat? Like, drop it below in the comments. Like, if you're like having a weird craving, or if you just be like, damn, like I want some fast food. Like, what do y'all eat? I don't do McDonald's. I don't do Burger King. I don't do, who else don't I do? I don't do Waffle House. Who else? I can't think of anybody else, but those are my three that's just like a dub. You know, I had a really horrible experience with McDonald's, and granted, like, McDonald's, we all shouldn't be eating McDonald's anyway. If you've ever seen The Founder, or if you've read the book The Founder, like, I've seen it and I've read the book, and I grew up part of the McDonald's like family culture because, like, well, that's a separate story and it's personal. It doesn't even matter. But I pretty much, you know, have a strong connection to McDonald's. But I don't eat it anymore for that reason of The Founder, both the movie and the film, and Super Size Me, and my personal experience I had with them, because I chose to overlook all that stuff that I saw, which we typically do when we're eating fast food. But it was a dub. And then Burger King, I chose not to eat Burger King because I became aware that Burger King no longer uses ground beef and they use horse meat. I don't know how true that is because I don't have like a specific source to reference for you all, because, you know, I'm a psychological researcher, and so I'm big on sources, citations, works cited, pages, and things of that nature. So I don't have, like, you know, I don't know how true that is, but I became aware of that, and once I became aware of that, I'm like, okay, I don't even want to find out, so I'm just not going to eat it anymore. And then Waffle House, the obvious I just said, because of the controversy, I've just not doing it. Not giving my money to an establishment that has that type of behavior. But yeah, so that's that. What do y'all eat? Like, for fast food, like, what y'all eat? Because there's so much stuff I haven't tried. Like, Firehouse Subs, never been there. Longhorn, unless those are the same things. Those are probably the same things, and I just don't know. What else haven't I tried? Like, I'm a foodie, by the way, so I like talking about food. But I recently tried Chick-fil-A this year, and I'm like addicted to it. What else haven't I tried? There's a lot of places, but nonetheless, let me know what y'all eat, like what y'all like. So we made it to our location here in South Carolina. This is gonna be an epic show because look at all of this. See that? Like, I'm gonna be able to utilize like all the stage, like all of the stage. It's gonna be a playroom. It's gonna be a bit challenging because I'm not used to it in terms of like the audience being super wide, but I love it. I am up for the challenge, and so I'm just grabbing like my primary stuff. I know y'all hate this wig. I hate it too, to be very honest with you. So, well, oh yeah, see, now you can get an even better view of it. It's gonna be epic. And then they were so nice, the coordinators. They got like drinks and muffins back here. It's rare, like schools be like, just do the show, period. And now I'm looking for a dressing room. I think I see it. But yeah, I was just checking in with y'all, letting y'all know. I will check back with y'all after it's done, let you know how it goes. Tell y'all, like, seriously, like, y'all know when your head be itching so bad and like you don't want, I mean, my hair definitely needs to be re-braided anyway, but it's a play for y'all. My hair definitely needs to be re-braided anyway, but the pat game, that itch is something crazy. I can remember being in school and like I used to pat my hair every time I used to get my hair like freshly done, and you know you gotta pat it because you don't want to mess up your hair, and also it's just not good to scratch your scalp in that way, like aggressively. And teachers used to be like, are you okay? Like, why are you banging yourself? Why are you hurting yourself? And I remember giving a full-blown, this is an example of being a black face and a white face. I remember having to give a full-blown explanation to the entire class in middle school about why I'm patting my head. And like the way the teacher presented the question was like, speak on behalf of all black people. And like as a kid, you're like, oh. But now when I think about it in hindsight, like, why would you do that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, but anyway, hey, itching crazy because lights were bright, the performance was epic, it was awesome, the energy was amazing. We ended up getting so it's a magnet school, the arts magnet school, and so this particular like cohort of students called the gold team, where I guess they're like the you know, the what do we call them, enrichment team, so to speak, for education. They like presented us with an award, and like we took pictures with them, and like it was their idea to bring in, you know, somebody else for Black History Month, because typically they say they do something for Black History Month. So it was beautiful, and I mean, this is elementary school, so babies, but they got a kick out of it. It was great. It helped me to power through the show because this is the show where I have to always be super high energy, and I play over 12 different characters, but it was awesome. It was amazing, and this was their first like chance to prove to their administration that we need things like this. And so for it to have been so successful and the children to really be engaged and enlightened, so what I'm talking about, them seeds that we be sowing and we have no idea, or the things that, the opportunities that we get, and you think it's just for that, but it's for something bigger. That's what I be talking about, you know. So I'm about to get dressed to go to my next show that I have, which is 2 hours away from here. But yeah, it was great, and I live for this stuff. The Q&A was amazing. You know, sometimes when time permits, we get to do a Q&A with the kids, and the questions were so excellent in terms of like having the open dialogue conversation. Like I really want to like do a panel event. Like I need to do a panel event because I love, like I literally was walking around with the mic, like taking questions or responding to them. You know, some child, white girl asked, why did skin color matter so much back then? And you would think it would be a very difficult question to ask, and it is, because it's layers and there's complexities that, you know, children just can't like wrap their minds around, and that's why it was so difficult for Aaron to answer that question, but it was so important for him to, which is unfortunate. But I took the hint and I proceeded to answer, and I basically just told her, I was like, you know, when people aren't aware of the greatness of others, then that's when they just assume. And you know, back then people didn't know that people of color were great, and so, and how would they know, because they never gave them opportunities to showcase that, right? And she's like, right. I was like, but now that you know how great we are based off of what you saw in the show, now you have a frame of reference, you know, a point of reference. Now you have an example, of being able to treat people the same, because we're not that different. And I even said to her, I was like, you know, me and you, we're different colors, right? She's like, yeah. I was like, if you tickle us both, we're gonna laugh. She's like, right. And I was like, if you cut us both, or if we get hurt and scrape our knee, we're both gonna bleed red, right? She's like, right. I was like, so we're not that different, you and I. And so she was like, wow, you know, but that is how you reach kids. You know, it's so complex and it's so much more than that, but people don't know. So when you know better, you do better. That's the philosophy. And so, and that's just one of the great questions that got asked, you know, but I'm ranting. I gotta get ready to go because, like I said, I got into the show, but sorry, y'all. Itch, the wig, the sweat, the lights, it was crazy. But we got the last week, baby. 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 Damn. Flex. See, because you just gotta like work it out. Remember that's what you gotta hype yourself up? Like, you gotta hype yourself up. Last week, let's go. Push through. Last home stretch. Last leg. Get it. So we just got to our second location, and we have an hour before we have to be there. So this is what I'm about to do. This is what I be doing every time I get a free moment. Knock. I'll check back in later. So I wanted to pop in with you guys. I just got finished doing my last show. Excuse me. I just got finished doing my last show here in South Carolina. Where am I? Gaffney, South Carolina. And this will be the final show, because y'all know we're in the final week. This will be the final show in South Carolina. This show was very interesting, to say the least. It was for middle school. So y'all remember when y'all was in middle school at that funky age where, you know, you was smelling yourself, you know, made people know what you were thinking. And so this particular show, I never really thought it was for a younger audience. You know, I always felt like it was so serious and dramatic and complex, the different things that we talk about of these hidden heroes on the Underground Railroad. You know, like I literally act out working in the field, singing. I go through this internal distress of having a ship of slave catchers come at me, you know, and these things it's a lot, you know, but for people, or for kids, I should say, you know, when you see somebody being super dramatic and super like, oh my God, they, you know, they think it's funny, but it's not funny. And it's not that they're laughing at you and stuff like that. I get that. But that just goes back to the same thing I've talked about as well. Like, you, no matter who you're performing for, you give it your best at all times, no matter what the reactions are, because it's meant to touch somebody and it's an enlightening experience, period, right? And so the bulk of them is like, oh my God, we're talking about slaves and shit. Oh, it's crazy, like slavery. Oh. Right, they're kids though. Y'all remember how y'all was in middle school? Y'all know when y'all was 10, 11, 12, 13, thought you was grown. But it's always rewarding that after the show is done, you have some selective few come up and they're like, can you tell me a little bit more about this particular character you talked about? Or, I really appreciate your performance. Thank you so much for coming. You're a really great actor. I really wanted to cry when I saw that. I didn't know it was that bad. I ain't kids. In particular. That's the shit. That's what I do this for. Like, this is why. You know what I'm saying? You can't please everybody. You know, you're not gonna, and it's not entertaining either, this particular show. It's enlightening across the board. You can't enlighten everybody. But even my whole thing, if I touch one, I use my gift the way that God intended me to. One. Whether it's 1 or 10 million, it don't matter. It's that one that matters. So bear that in mind as you're, you know, in your industry, you're in your field, and you feel defeated at times, like they're just not getting it. You just need one. Just like in the industry, the entertainment industry, when they say it just takes one yes, because you're gonna get thousands of no's. It's that one yes that's like, I know, I'm glad you do too. I'll check back with y'all later. I'm on my way to Kentucky. Never been, really excited. Y'all know I gotta get the fried chicken. Like, I got to. Like, I got to. And I'm gonna vlog it, because I know I haven't vlogged food in a minute for y'all, but I got you. I'll tell you one thing, it's way too early in the morning for all of this, but I'm glad it's Friday. Oh, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. If you didn't know already, I'm not a morning person at all. I'll check in with y'all when I start changing and let you know what's going on. Okay, so check this out. We get here, right, at 7, and I goes in because I handle all the, check-in and looking at the space and financial situation and everything. I comes into the office and the office is closed. So I'm like, okay, well, I've been to school before. I give a couple minutes, staff needs to come. They're human, whatever. Y'all. Now we go on about 7:20. I see people like trickling in and out, like signing in or whatever. They look like staff. So I'm like, hi, you work in the office? They're like, oh no, they should be here shortly. I'm like, oh, okay. 7:35 pops around. Like, the show starts at 8:10, by the way. 7:35 pops around. Gentleman walks in. I'm like, office staff? I was like, you work in the office? He's like, oh no, they don't get here till 8. I said, oh, okay, well, I'm here from the assembly. That's, I believe, starting at 8:10. He's like, right. I was like, yeah, we need some time to set up. Do you know who I could talk to about looking at the space and being able to kind of, like, do that? And he's like, oh, set up. We didn't think about that. I could show you the space, and then, we go from there. Okay. So this morning's always just off to a rough. Don't want to really, be here. But, human beings. Mind you, we called and confirmed our time that we'd be here. So I didn't know that. So this should be interesting. Stay tuned. I'm in Kentucky, by the way. And Kentucky's already on strike too right now. For last night I went to go get some food. And I was very clear in what I wanted. And the gentleman that was taking my order, he got it all wrong. So I'm like, okay, Kentucky, strike 1. And now this, strike 2. At least the hotel I'm staying in is really nice. I'll say that. It's got a really great night's sleep. But anyhow, I will check back in with you guys and let you know how this all pans out. Oh, by the way, this school looks like a college campus. And they're middle school age. So, there's that. Okay. So, yeah. So, look how huge this is. That's like a long hallway. Mind you, we're at a middle school. Still walking to the gym, by the way. Look at the decor, detail. Trying to be kind of like low-key, not obvious. This door heavy. I can remember what it was like for us though. My high school teachers looked like this. And our gym was kind of big too. But school in its entirety was like ancient looking. And that was high school. Epic. Check out them, y'all. It's time to set up. I'm in the bathroom. Sorry, that scared you. Sorry.
I just see you coming with your phone.
Oh yeah. But yes, finished the show, and it was a success. The best success that it can be performing for this age group. But I will say we had more questions than we did for the first show. A little distracting, given the fact there was like one student that just was like making a loud outburst, and so that just, for you gotta just keep pushing through, and you gotta like, use your brain literally with effort to see to it that you don't flub, or you don't look unnatural, or you don't make that person feel uncomfortable or awkward, so that was a challenge. And then the first show, the one before, I just finished this one, y'all. So I played Frederick Douglass. But right before I played Frederick Douglass, I played Sojourner Truth. I left my skirt on by accident. It was so uncomfortable for me, because again, like, I'm returning to theater after 5 years, so like, my body wanted to be like, oh, excuse me, never mind, and change it. But for theater, no, the show must go on, and you have to keep going as if ain't nothing going on. But I felt so awkward, and then just like, I had to like pray and apologize, because like, that's like disrespectful, like, and I hope I didn't like offend his spirit, like I didn't mean to, but shoot, I'm like, the Europeans was wearing skirts, but no, still, that's why they were wearing skirts, and we weren't. But anyway, look like a kid, I guess, but that's no excuse still, right? So that happened, but overall it's a done data. And then after the show was done, I think it was the principal, she came up and gave us like some really great history on just like Kentucky and Cassius Clay's affiliation with Kentucky, and how Kentucky was a major state on the slave trade because of the Kentucky River. And she also mentioned that there's a particular college that was the only college that educated people of color all the way up until Jim Crow, and then they stopped, and now we're back to, you know, educating them and whatnot. But who knew Kentucky had so much history? For me, that's gonna be ignorant, okay? And I know, because that's what I'm saying. Fried chicken. I ain't never been to Kentucky. I don't know nobody from Kentucky. Like, foreign land for me. So all I know is the chicken. And I wasn't gonna say that to her, because then she really was gonna be like, don't do that. But yeah, just to know all the historical context within this state. And I think I mentioned that in another vlog when we were in Ohio at one of our first shows. The Ohio River was a major route that slaves, escaping slaves, would take on the Underground Railroad. So to have driven over that river was a feeling unlike, it's indescribable, right? And so the same thing now, being aware of Kentucky's history, like, whoa, you know, she said there's a specific neighborhood about 15 miles outside of here that during when settlers were coming over and they were trying to diversify that community and to showcase that people of color are great, can coexist, we can all live together because we're all human beings. They had set up like plot lands, like in the neighborhood, to where it'd be like a black family, a white family, a black family, a white family. And like, okay, Kentucky, like, okay, you know. But for me, just kind of getting this influx of history, not just because of the show I'm doing, but also another project that I'm working on, and then just also like my state of consciousness ever since I started undergrad 4 years ago. Oh my gosh, I have a college degree. But anyway, that's when my consciousness, or my woke, you know, journey began, when I was a freshman in college. And since then, 4 years later, the resurfacing of history is major for me, because when I was a child, history was my favorite subject until something traumatic happened in high school that removed that part of me from even wanting to know about history, regardless, like any and everything. And so for it to have come back and me to be even able to say that there was a traumatic experience with a teacher in my high school that ruined history for me, I'm glad it's coming back, because I'm feeling those childhood tendencies and feelings that I used, and excitement that I used to feel, you know. But anyway, let me get changed, because one more show today. Can't wait for it to be done, because it's Friday and I get my weekend and I can relax and then push out the last couple of shows before my tour is over. Thank you again for following me on this journey, and continue to send me emails, continue to send me DMs. The support, the love, the positivity is much appreciated, and I hope that this vlog is doing exactly what God intended it to do for those that are looking right now. You see, I'm looking at you right now. I'll check back in with y'all. Bye. Oh, by the way, hair definitely look like Meek now. Need to be redone, but I'm not gonna do it. But I'm his twin. I know. Okay.
Feet. Turn right onto Ranch House Road.
This is Kentucky, y'all.
Turn right onto Ranch House Road.
So when I have moments like this to kill before we actually start the performance, I am praying with my script. I pray with my script in hand, regardless if it's theater or film or television. And I also sit with the script and just look over certain details or nuances. There's some actors that I've met that, you know, they're like, oh, I don't want to look at it again. I trust my instrument. I know it. That's cool. That's their process. That's what works for them. For me, take my script everywhere. I used to be one of those people, though, to be honest, where I didn't want to audition with anything in my hand. I didn't want to be in acting class with anything in my hand. But even if it's in your hand, you don't have to look at it. You know what I mean? But it is there just in case your instrument decides to not cooperate the way that we typically want it to cooperate. So because of that, I always have it with me, and even if I'm just not reading it, I just have it in my hand, you know, so there's just the connection happens between me and the words on the page. Those are the words on the page, and I am the actions and the spirituality behind it to bring it forth to light, to enlighten and entertain. So I just wanted to share that quick note because I know this vlog is also about, you know, techniques that work for me and if anything that you guys want to try. And a big issue in the industry too, where people feel a way. Certain artists feel as if they're being judged for having their script in their hand or going over lines before production starts. Don't feel that way because you're better off someone looking at you like they're still going over stuff than to be that person that looks like they have it in the bag and then you fuck up when it's time for showtime. So do with it what you may, but that is big. You know, people will make you feel away for overly preparing, and there's no such thing as over preparation. It's just a such thing as preparation. And again, your process is what works for you. This line of business, this craft and career path that we have chosen, it's not a one-size-fits-all. Do what works for you and what's going to make sure that you get your job done successfully and at the best level that it can be. So just bear that in mind. Alright, I'll check back in with you all later when I probably get back to the hotel. So I'm finally going to do like a little food review for you guys, and I've come to the Parkett Drive-In. I found it off of Drive-Ins, Digs, and Diners, Guy Fieri show on Food Network. And so this is the absolute place to be in Lexington, Kentucky. And when my food comes out, I'm going to show y'all what it looks like, I'm going to tell you what's on it, and then you're going to see me taste it as well. I'm very excited to be here. I feel like I'm in the movie Grease, because it's definitely like 1950s. This is absolute. Kentucky is so friendly, y'all. I love it. I love it. So stay tuned, and I'll let you know how this goes. All right, y'all. So this is the premium Parkett Poor Boy. That's like recommended to get if you ever come here. And then I got tots on the side. And then I'm in Kentucky, so you know I had to try some fried chicken. So we'll see how this pans out. I'm really excited about this. Y'all, I bet this chicken. First of all, bruh. It kind of tastes like KFC though, I'm not gonna hold you. It kind of tastes like KFC. Do it one more time, because y'all be like when people bite stuff, right? I know y'all be watching those food videos. I can't be the only one. Crisp is popping. From the flavor. Alright, I'm gonna eat this, and I'll let y'all know how this burger tastes. I'm not gonna let y'all see me go ham on this burger, but it has like this Parkett sauce in it that's like has like a tangy kind of taste to it, kind of like a pickle juice kind of taste, and it's epic. And I feel like it's something that I would put on my gyro, the sauce that is. But the burgers are Angus beef, prime, delicious, and it's not too much more going on it. The bread is like soft, but with a hint of crisp on it, which I love for my burger. Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong at all. So if you're ever in Kentucky, Lexington in particular, go to the Parkett Drive-In. Alright, so I'm about to eat off this food because it's a done deal. Alright, y'all, so I came down to do some laundry. This is going to be my last day doing laundry. It's windy out here in Kentucky. Like, I heard it was actually a tornado in Alabama because I've been watching the news these 2 days off. It's been like heaven on earth. Just for the simple fact that like I'm able to relax and get connected to the world once again. So I've just been watching TV, sleeping. Like I took like 5 naps yesterday, which was like heaven on earth. But yeah, I'm waiting in line right now to use this washer. For instance, like guest laundry. When I tell y'all about places that got guest laundry, and I got fitness halls, and fitness rooms, and the bathrooms are lit. This place is lit in that regard. Laundry. Good morning. So coming off of my nice, relaxing, stressed free break. So to return to this is like rough. Stomach kind of hurts. But luckily enough, it's only 2 shows, and I would prefer to get them out the way in the morning versus have them extended throughout this afternoon. So I'm gonna bang these shows out, and then we're hitting the road. And when we're on the road to our next location, I will let you know what that is. But last few shows, y'all. And so, you know, when that momentum try to die down, like, okay, we're coming to an end, it's almost over. You got to keep that rigor, you know what I'm saying? Like, even though you see the finish line, don't walk that joint. Like, power through it, you know, power through it. And so that's what I'm holding on to. And so often, you know, as artists, it's always like the next job that we're thinking of, right? Luckily for me, I've squared some of that away, and so I'm so excited that I have something else to jump into to shake these characters off and return to a character that I have been already working on for a web series. So I'm excited about that, to continue filming more episodes for it, and when it comes out, I can't wait for you all to see it, because it's like, it's dope. It's really dope, and the chemistry that I have with my castmates is really great. So I'm just super excited to see how it translates on screen. And then, you know, I got other things going on in my life, and so I just feel like let's close this chapter and see how God moving, you know, because he be moving, even though sometimes it feels like he ain't. But bittersweet, like I said, you know, and staying in the moment, staying in the present moment is very important for times like this. When you're towards the end of an experience, you remember these things, you know what I'm saying? Like, I remember when I first showed up. If you look at week 1 vlog, the first week of my first vlog, like, I was literally leaving my house, and then it began. So to make it here, it's like, whoa. So anyway, I'm about to get dressed, and I'll check back with y'all after the shows and let you know how this all goes. Thank you for joining this journey. Continue to stay strong in your pursuit of whatever it is that you're doing. You're worth it. You're being prepared, and you got this. Like, it's who you are. You got this. So that was a success of a show. I don't know, excuse me, why my voice feels like this, or like my throat. It's probably because I haven't used my chords to the extent I've been using them for this tour during my lovely break that I had. But the shows went great. Again, performing this serious show for kids is always tragic and like hit or miss. It's always tragic and hit or miss because you never know what you're gonna get in terms of like the laughter, because kids laugh at stuff that they don't understand, or it's just, you know, a reaction that they just, you know, have or whatever, because again, the subject matter isn't funny. But nonetheless, they were really great. They were attentive. No one fell asleep, you know, so that's always great. But yeah, it was really good. And then there was one, I always tell Aaron, like, every time we do this show, you're always going to catch one, you know, one meeting where it really hit and it really impacted them. It never fails. And it kind of just speaks again to my philosophy of, when I'm performing, my only goal, like my expectation that I set, is to get one. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you reach one, then you've used your gift in the way that my Heavenly Father has, like, you know, wanted you to use it. The enlightenment has occurred. And so we had another one, and this particular one, she was taking notes throughout it. She was like just super engaged. You know, I can literally tell her expressions when people came out. She's like, oh, yes, yes, yes. Or like when people made an escape to freedom from slavery, she's like, yeah, like, you know, like it was, she was souped. And then after the show, you know, sometimes we'll open up a Q&A, and we don't have to, but I particularly opened that Q&A because I wanted to give her an opportunity to ask questions if she had any. But she was too shy to, so that was fine. But other people had questions, which were great. And then as we were packing up, she comes back over to say, you know, how she really enjoyed it, and then asked us a couple questions about the names. She wanted to go back and do some research on the names. And that's like huge. You know, so often we watch things or we read things and then we just leave it there for that moment. But in order for critical thinking to truly take place and for order to enlightenment to truly hit an impact for longevity, we gotta go back, y'all. Like, we gotta get out of this mentality of like, oh, I did it once so I'm good. Like, no, like, you gotta hone stuff. You gotta go back and reread something, rewatch something, because just because you felt the way when you watched it then, if you watch it 2 weeks or 2 months from now, you might feel a different way or you might process it differently. But we just be going off the old implications, you know what I'm saying? Like, your brain changes every single day. Like, new cells get created like every day. So society just got us in this whole, like, you did it once, you an expert, you good. Like, no, do you know how long people been doing stuff, trying, like, for them to be great at what they do? Like, and you're a student forever. Like, you never stop learning. Like, but society got us on this whole, you could Google so now you know. No. You know what I'm saying? There's short-term and long-term memory in the brain for a reason. But I'm off my soapbox, you feel me? It was a great show, so I'm about to change. So glad it's over. Last show of the day, baby. Y'all. Let's have a moment of silence for the blessing. Thank you. Good morning, good morning. I know I was supposed to like tune back in with y'all when we was on the road, but the kid was asleep, you feel me? We have made it to Memphis. People in Memphis is souped, like very souped. So we're setting up right now. And like they want to use a sound system and stuff, but because we're so close to the crowd, we don't necessarily need one. But you know, you don't want to make people feel like, you know, they doing too much. Like, it's okay. So he's just like the tech guy. Like, I mean, I'm whatever you need, like whatever you need. Like, you know, I'll make it low. You need it low, you need it like really loud. Just like, thank you, but like this gym, like, it's we good. But you know, let everybody have their moments. You know what I'm saying? But it's funny. Either way, I'm about to get dressed, get ready for the show. 2 shows today, early in the morning. Let's bang them out. Let's make it cool. And then we only got how many days, baby? Y'all. We had our moment of silence the other day. We did. So we good. I'll check back on with y'all after this show. Let y'all know how I go. I'm in Memphis, babe. Where's K Michelle when I eat her? Where's K Michelle? And I'm gonna let you know something really funny. As I was driving into Memphis, nothing but K Michelle music played. It was a spirit. So as y'all saw from that last clip, I'm at this restaurant. I was recommended by one of the sponsors at the location we just left. So I've never been to Memphis before, and I love
The reception was also held in the store.
their first sip.
The
I
contest
come
paid
off
for a
stage.
stay at a local hotel and
Heaven.
a wedding.
But I'm really excited because I love catfish. So she said this is like the best catfish in town. It's the best chicken wings in town. I ain't getting chicken wings.
It's one of those days when
Aaron's
you
gonna
want to
get
get
chicken
outside
wings.
again, enjoy the
This
sunshine
catfish
and
with some
experience
fried
the
okra.
bottom
I'm
temperatures
gonna show y'all what it looked like
through the
before I
afternoon by
devoured. Like, I
5 or
devoured
the upper
that
50s.
food.
Really nice as kids get off the bus and as you're heading home or getting up for dinner later this evening. Tomorrow we do welcome in a low range and
patient with me,
slightly
y'all. I just
higher
got off
temperature
stage.
by Thursday. So keep the
I
umbrella
had devoured that
through
food in
the
Kentucky.
end of the week.
So stay
And
tuned.
remember, drive that huge
Try to make
cold
it
out.
big. But I love like mom and pop situations. You know what I'm saying? The franchises, they be getting long sometimes. Mom and pop, they cook with the heart. Cook with the heart. God, y'all. So those are catfish strips, the fried okra, we got the bread, sauce right there. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna try it. Some coleslaw, my strawberry Fanta. Y'all, let's see. Heaven.
Clarification. Again, I will call you when it's time to come down. Most important thing right now, let's make sure, students, today is Wednesday. It's our Leadership Convocation Day. We dress like this because we want people to take us serious. Let's make sure we have on our uniform convocation attire, our dress, and let's make sure we're counted present, everyone's in their right space. Thank you.
Look at Louisville. Y'all, I swear, I never would have guessed that, like, I would have been those people that we used to see at school assemblies. Like, it trips me out every time. But this will be the last day I will be performing this one particular show. This is that high energy, upbeat show that I was telling y'all about. I think I'm gonna take these out. Because these may there for another performance anyway. But yeah, this will be the last day. 2 more days left, y'all. So the second, I can't even talk straight on what's going on. So good. Nothing, I'm vlogging. So the first show was so close to the hotel, and the checkout time at the hotel was so late that there was time to be able to come back and just lay out. Like, oh my god. So this feels amazing. Watching TV to get a little breather before it's time to leave out. But that first show was alright. You know, they was bad, the kids. So the show ran very long because we had to quiet them down throughout the show, and the teachers had to jump in and stuff. But it was a good show because they all enjoyed it. They enjoyed themselves and they learned, you know, within that process. And so it was sweet, you know. Kids are everything. And it was a success. So then we have the last show of the day in a couple hours, and the last time ever performing it in life for me, which is epic. And then we take our final long distance drive to the last city and state we will be in, and it's just magical. Show, there's that. But I'm just checking in, you know what I mean? Just checking in. I'm tired. I am drained because that show takes everything out of me. But yeah, so I'll check back in with y'all. I'm about to chill and just. This gym class so lit. Like, when we was younger, we like this like fire. It's like kindergartners. That's like a whole party in here. Excuse me, honey. No. Back over there. You just touched my set? It's off to a bad start already. Feel it. Alright. I'll be back, y'all. I'm still setting up costumes and whatnot. I'm performing this show. Me and this wig. We've had our time, ups, downs, outfit. This is the last time I'll be dating. You know? Last time. Wow. Again, crisscross. Like, this gym class is very lit. Last show of this particular character. And these characters that I play: Will Smith, Maya Angelou, Dr. King, Rosa Parks, Wilma Rudolph, just to name a few. Said my prayers. Now we're just waiting for this class to be over and for the school to bring the students. So this class is finished the last Black History Hall of Fame play, y'all. Ouch. Hit myself on that right there. Honesty and transparency, baby. Self-reflective moment. Glad to be taking off the character. Glad that it's the last, because as y'all know, if y'all been with me since week 1, you already know, you know, that have come so far. Y'all already know. If y'all been following this vlog all the way from week 1, then you understand how accomplishment would feel right now in this moment, to end this particular show. I still got 2 days left of one show to do, but to finish this character, bittersweet moment, to finish these characters, and this show in particular, this is the one I perform the most. This is the one that I learned a lot of new things about myself as an artist. My mind has been, my creativity has expanded to horizons and dimensions I knew nothing of the sort. Thank you, God. The one thing I'm gonna miss is the looks on those kids' faces. The joy, the surprise, and the inspiration. That is why I've made it this far. I'm trying to come in here and give y'all some good news, and Facebook blowing me. Gosh, how you go on your car and all of a sudden you see something that just looks like it don't belong. But anyway, on another note, I came to show y'all a surprise. So I'm in Kentucky, and that's what all of those of y'all that are following, that are watching, that are up north will know exactly what's about to go down right now when I show you this. So brace yourselves. Kentucky said they're gonna try. So I got my typical, double cheeseburgers, you feel me? And then they have shrimp nibblers. Now up home we got fish nibblers, so let's see how they shrimp taste, right? And then they also have something on their menu called what's it called? A crab cake slider. I wasn't really trying to trust White Castle crab, so I just chose not to get it, but you can only imagine. But I had no idea that White Castle was in the South, like, in general, not even just Kentucky. But we're gonna see how this goes. I'm gonna let y'all know because I'm hungry and I'm not gonna eat it in front of you. But good morning. How y'all doing? Good? Great. Glad to hear. I'm doing okay too, because it is the day before my last day of this tour. Gotta put that stank in air and put it on you, and you just be getting a tit for tat. No thank you. Do no parts. I'm too old for that. I don't do that no more. You know what I'm saying? I just stopped with that last year. Yeah, I'm saying. So I'm on a new path. The enemy be trying it. Don't bring me down. Don't take my joy, because he pressed my buttons already. I'm gonna walk away. When I start singing, when I'm talking, and it's not a joke, that's what you don't type. So, if you ever wanted to know, because I do real good and not sharing stuff no more. I've become real tolerant. You feel me? But this face, it do what it want. Okay? But y'all, like, don't do it. But anyway, y'all, we about to go perform this show. And it's tomorrow the last day, baby. Ain't nothing bring me down, you feel me? Ain't nothing bring me down. But yeah, I had to come share that with y'all. So don't let nobody steal your joy, try to try you, because you are not in control of other people's actions. You're not in control of other people's decisions and behaviors. But one thing you are in control of is how you react to it. Okay. Walk away. Walk away. And if you do gotta do a smart remark, make it like 1 to 2 words and smile and walk away. You know what I'm saying? It's sad. It's tragic. But anyway, like I said, I'm pressed for time. Y'all, be great and amazing at what you're doing. And again, there's gonna be people in this world that try you. Don't let them do it. Don't let them do it.
In half a mile, turn left onto East McKee Street.
I'm so aggravating, y'all. Every time I go to change, I always forget my contacts. So I have to end up walking back and forth. However, these are my lazy issues. Y'all, we have made it to the final day of recording of this show, of this tour. God is good. He truly is. Woke up this morning like I had on top of the day, very surprised, probably because I got a decent night's sleep. But the anxiety I was experiencing yesterday, if it was anxiety, I don't really know, I can't really define like what it is. All I know is it gave me like the symptoms of anxiety, but just like this feeling of like, am I gonna be able to get through the day? But like I've been doing this for the past 5 weeks, you know what I'm saying, outside of the week of rehearsal. And I don't know why I was trying to, you know, if I was me or my subconscious trying to psych myself out, like, you've been doing this every day, like, tomorrow's no different, it's just the last time you're doing it. But it's a little better. We're here, we made it. Feel so happy. I feel so excited. I feel nervous because of what's next on the horizon for me. There's a few things, you know, just cooking, you know what I'm saying, just cooking. And the uncertainty of what those things will bring, the uncertainty of what I will bring to them outside of just my rigorous work ethic. However, we're here, we're gonna defeat it, the day, the tour. Accomplishment is huge. Feeling that, feeling very nostalgic because I've accomplished things before, you know, but within my acting career, this truly was a turning point, you know. This might be some actor lingo for all my actors out there, but that apex moment in the arc, you know, that climax moment of an arc, the story arc. This is one of them, you know, and sometimes depending on the story, depending on the type of production, there can be multiple climax moments. Episodic, feature film, y'all know. I'm not gonna get you overloaded with that lingo for all my non-actors out there. However, this is an apex, you know? I recognize that in the beginning before I even signed on to the tour after receiving the offer. Didn't realize it would be an apex, but I did realize that it was going to be something that was going to grow me, and that was going to be something that stood out within all my experiences within my acting career solely. And preparation was big. If you've been following the other vlogs, then you've heard me touch upon this, but if you haven't, listen carefully. When you're being blessed and when God is making a true turning point in your life, and you recognize that ahead of time, like when the blessing comes or before you start the blessing, but you know it's there, it then begins, I was a little tired, it then begins to dictate your behavior moving forward. It then begins to condition your mindset, because there's always going to be trials and tribulations. And for this particular tour, this particular experience, this was one of those blessings that I was aware of. You're preparing me for something. I don't know what, I don't know how, and I don't know why, but this is something that I have to be constantly in the moment during this experience. And this is something I have to make sure that I am recognizing things that may seem minor or minuscule, and he's so purposeful in everything he does. You know, so often we hear like, don't feed too much of what's going on to your life, and that's true to an extent, but for those particular blessings, you know, when you know God's voice and his actions and behavior moving in your life, you know what I'm saying, like, that's when everything matters. And this particular experience was that for me. Know what he's doing, and I don't know what he's doing in your life, but those moments when you like got some discernment with it, and you like, hold up, trust that instinct, trust that instinctual sense, because he loves you, he knows you, he created you, and he wrote your life, and you must take that very seriously, because he entrusted you with a responsibility to make sure that it gets sought out and sought after. We get those moments in life. like how I am on this tour. For me, it's a tour right now. For you, it may be that college acceptance to where you wanted to go. It may be that job that you don't really want to work in, and so you don't understand why you're there, but you're still there. It may be that news that you got of a new family member coming on the way. You're about to be a mom or you're about to be a dad, and you're like, how the heck did this happen? You know what I mean? It may be that epiphany where you're like breaking into a new version of yourself and you're loving yourself more. And you're like, wait, how did I even, that moment. It may be that. Stay in the present moment. Be intentional. Be purposeful. Because sometimes, as my mom says, it's about you, but it's not all about you. I was anticipating, waiting to tell y'all this when the show is over. You will never believe what just happened, okay? So this is the unfortunate part of like how I was not able to have my shows recorded to share the footage with you all. This particular show, so within the venue that we were in today, the lights have a buzzing sound, zzz, and it's really loud. And this show that we're performing, if you've been following the vlog, you know it's like slow and somber, the hidden heroes of the Underground Railroad. It's hopeful, but it's a hope that children can't really comprehend yet in the midst of such the pain and darkness. So this buzzing sound was very loud, and so they wanted to get us some mics. They got us some handheld mics to go around, headset situation. And they started the show before I had mine. But it's theater. It's not a film or television set, so I'm TTG, you feel me? And go out there, throw my voices, which is great. I'm sure they heard me and everything because I project and I'm just naturally loud. But throw my voice and whatnot. I'm in it, I'm in my scene, doing my shit. And the guy who had the mics comes while I'm still on stage, not backstage, not hidden, in the midst of a monologue I'm giving, lengthy monologue. He comes, hops on stage, puts the headset on me, put it on my hip action, but I'm literally in the moment, just chatting as that character. When I say, I didn't even flinch, question, I'm just talking to you like how I'm talking to you now, with somebody just coming over here doing this, that, and the third all on me. I don't know you, but I'm in my character, I'm in my mode, I'm explaining to these audience members what is happening, what is going on in my life, and this man is just on me. And you could not even, the faces was like, is she really still like just going? Like he's literally in the middle of the show. Training is so important. And I think training is so important. And I think that is the biggest takeaway from that experience right there. Successful, seamless, organic, popping. You feel me, as an artist. I'm like, okay, sis. Oh, you just out here. You just out here still acting. Like, you still acting. And people just like, my training is what prepared me for moments like that. And so, actors, artists, people out there who are watching this vlog that are serious about their industry, about the field that you're in, preparation, training is crucial. And we forever need to do it because culture, climate's changing, what have you. I've been blessed to have acting coaches that have a unique approach to how they train their actors. And that unique approach is to put your actors in conditions that are so extreme that probably may not happen. But if you're able to flourish, not break character, not look frazzled, keep your lines right, keep your choices right in the midst of those things that they put us through in class, and they're ethical, don't let me be putting out that type of information, no, it's cool. Anything that gets thrown your way on sets, because it happens, like what happened today in a theater production where there is no cut while we get it together. It's just go. I was prepared for that. If I hadn't trained in a condition that's like Why am I gotta keep talking, being coached, like, no, stay in your character, you're breaking. I would not have been able to succeed in that moment that I just experienced. I wish y'all could have seen it. And I hope I did the due diligence of explaining it to you two in a way when I kid you not, I can't make this shit up. I can't. I've been telling stories of my life, like vlogging. I haven't vlogged so much. But just in person with my friends, with my family, people that I, acquaintances, whatever, I tell these elaborate stories about my life. The shit that happens to me is like, stop lying, like, yo, be chatting. I can't make this shit up. So it's facts. Biggest takeaway for all of you that's listening right now. Get your shit together and stay ready. Get ready, stay ready so that you don't have to no longer get ready. I am performing in a church for my last show. Y'all, I just recently found out that my last show was gonna be in a church. My God. It's a Episcopal church, or is that Presbyterian? I'll find out. So I'm not doing so I'm not messing up. Okay, so I'm about to go get changed. Backstage, a little rough, but we gonna make it work. It's nighttime. People are out there. It's the sanctuary. That's why I'm like whispering a little bit. I'll check it again with you guys after the show and let you know how this goes. I'm in the bathroom now getting changed. Just a quick little pop-in I wanted to do before I check back in with y'all after the show. Nerves. I'm starting to feel like my first show all over again. I think that's interesting how the last final show is matching the same energy of the first. I don't really know what that means. I just gotta breathe through it, right? I just gotta. Affirmations are big, You're meant for this. You're an actor. You're an artist. You're capable. You're willing. The moment when I was near the pulpit, when I was saying this is like epic, not only performing for homage to my ancestors, educating and enlightening the audience, which is a predominantly white, elderly audience, performing in the Lord's house. Perform a friend. I perform for every night, but I can't even button my button. Okay. Whoa. I will check back in with y'all after the show. OMG. It's over now.
Thank you so much.
Y'all, I finished my tour. I don't think you understand. I finished the tour. 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 I'm a free woman. Y'all. I'm walking to my room. The last night. I told you we still had to go through. Oh!
Yeah, right here.
Oh, I stand corrected. It reminded me of 13 Cameras. You should watch that movie on Netflix. That guy, he's like 13 Cameras, the 13 Cameras guy. Yeah. Yeah. Hold up. Hey, y'all don't get it. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. Yo. So, to conclude this in the best way that I know how, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you to myself. Roller coasters, ups and downs, blessings, L's, lessons, a dream come true. Let this vlog be something tangible that will remind you that it's possible. And it, meaning anything that you set your mind to and that you're prepared for, is possible. When preparation meets opportunity. When preparation meets opportunity. What that look like for you? Thank you for following me on this journey. I can't wait to follow you on yours.